Hi, my name is Cami Walker. I am a student at Grand Canyon University, and I am excited to present to you about my current company, Walts TV, and their organizational design, their structure, their change, and overall organizing culture. So, very exciting. Walts TV was originally developed in 1957 by the original owners. The original owner was Roger Walters, and he created the business with his wife. And in the 80s, there was a Bob Henley that started to be as a TV repairman, and he had two children that are now owners of Waltz TV. In the late 90s, when Roger Walters decided to sell the company, he thought it was a great opportunity for the two boys to be able to take ownership. And then the third owner is their neighborhood friend that has grown up with them down the street. So it's very exciting because there is a very family culture because it's developed from family. It started out really small with Roger Walters, the two owners, and they work directly with us in the office. So it's really exciting to kind of have that feel and not a huge corporation feel. But over the years, it has definitely turned in more to corporation. When I started, I was the only girl employee. I was the only one in finance, and I was only working part time. So, and now the team consists of six other individuals on my team, so seven of us total. And we were doing 8 million when I started 6.5 years ago, and now we're doing 64 million. So it's definitely growing, and there is a really awesome family culture. But what I would really like to go over today is the analytics. And the Fortune 500, they propose 8 different analytical characteristics that they're able to rate companies on. And those 8 analytics are innovativeness, management, long term investment value, social responsibility, people management, quality of products and services, financial soundness, and corporate use of corporate assets. And there's so many things I love about Waltz, and I really do feel like they got a great hold on the use of all their corporate assets. They are very good in financial. Of course, the bottom line, the profitability, there's a littleness there, but for the most part, they're doing pretty good. But the part that I feel like they could significantly improve on is their interactions with the employees and people and creating a conscious culture. So the issue that I chose out of those 8 characteristics that the Fortune 500 has developed is the issue of people management. Right now, we struggle with a high turnover rate. We just started a new warehouse in Kentucky last year in February of 2020. And this year, in March of 2021, we just opened up another warehouse in Coppell, Texas. And it's really exciting. We did that because of the logistics of being able to get more 2 day shipping on our marketplace platforms like Amazon and Walmart and such. So it is really exciting. The only problem I really see that we're struggling with is hiring these entry level workers and also training and developing the staff. Um, and I really think that has a lot to do with the communication. And on top of that, we're not developing a company culture. They kind of let it happen as it happens. They're not putting out their goals and making sure that their goals align with employees' goals and also reward systems, recognition programs. There's a lot of failure there, and I'm worried that because we have so much turnover, especially these two new warehouses, that this is causing an issue. And of course, the issue of people management, ineffectiveness, people management. There is a lot of issues in performance, and as I said earlier, a high turnover rate. So I'm really excited to discuss that with you today, and hopefully we will be able to get a strategy together and be very excited. So the first thing is the underdevelopment staff. According to AMLO's article that I read, unhappiness employee, high turnover rate, decreased production, and unsafe work environments are all negative effects from undertraining. And personally, at Waltz TV, I have seen this. We do really value safety. But I don't think there is a lot of motivation and positiveness among a lot of the employees. And so there's really awesome things I want to cover this presentation to really get a grasp and idea of how a company could solve that. The negative effects for the company, as we just went over what's the negative effects, is also customer loss, increased expenses, revenue loss, and overall ineffective staff management. So there's just so many things that I feel like we could change. But before we touch base on that, I also want to go over communication. So with the under training, there's also a communication. And I feel like what we're going through is management are doing vague requests. The goals between the individual and also the company, I feel like there's a lapse there and there's not really as much connection as I feel like a really strong, effective company would have. The onboarding process is really overwhelming because we are trying to hire so many people that it feels like you're just a number and not individualized. So I also think that would be something that could really be helpful is individualizing the onboarding system. Also, because of last year, obviously during the pandemic, there's a lot of remote workers. And with these remote workers, we have come so far, and I'm very excited this past year, but we felt like there wasn't as much training as well because you feel like they're a little neglected. And then they're also having a hard time reaching out to you in that communication, be like, hey, I need help. I don't fully understand this. So, um, and then the negative effect of not having communication and efficient communication is disengaging team members, high turnover rate, just as I mentioned with the training, lower productivity and motivation, and overall just a negative poor morale. So these are issues that if I was the owner of Walts TV that I would significantly want to address. So let's talk a little bit more about the structure. So before really wanting to dig into these issues and what we could do to problem solve them, we really want to be able to dig in and be like, who is Waltz TV? What is their structure and their design and their culture and their organizational effectiveness? What are they? And so once we can kind of get a big picture, I feel like we could really break down these issues and be able to really grasp and understand what our strategy is and how could we make this better, how could a company make this better. So with the organizational structure, I do believe that there is definitely some missing there, that there needs to be more focus on training. The culture is failing when it comes to culture because honestly, there's no emphasis or attempt to actively manage culture. And it's very important to actually actively manage it. Sometimes they feel like they put all these employees here and they're just going to figure it out. But really, if there's some guidance and example by leadership, you can really be able to create a culture where people want to come to work and they know exactly what's expected of them, the communication there. So, and it really does affect the employee morale and the positivity. So that's really exciting. The organizational design is something that helps organization achieve goals. So it takes selecting and managing aspects of culture and to overall help the organizational goals, which is really exciting. The way that Waltz can improve with achieving new goals is to help motivate and train employees. So I feel like if they really put some time and effort, some reward systems, some recognition programs, I think that they could be really successful in creating a company culture that people are really drawn to. And I think that would help with the high turnover rates. So with the organizational effectiveness, directing behaviors can improve organized effectiveness, also enhancing attitudes and minimizing dysfunctional behaviors. So leaders generally do try to direct behaviors of people in the organization in ways that promote organizational effectiveness. The goal is to minimize the dysfunctional behaviors and increase positivity and performance. So This is overall the structure, but there's also, as we kind of touched base a little bit on the country, conscious culture. Walls leave their cultures to their own development, as we talked a little bit about before. The values, missions, the visions, and the goals are not really transparent or communicated. Also, but what they do get great is they do like feedback. They do accept it really great. The only problem I think that they could improve on is not only accept feedback, but encourage it. Through surveys and things like that, and just be like, we're here, we want to be the best company that we can be. Let's hear from you guys, and really encourage. And I think with encouraging the feedback and also encouraging growth in leadership, that they could have a really great conscious culture, along with leading by examples, being very clear on their goals, values, and missions, also making it a priority, and overall creating a lot of different encouragement for going into growth and leadership and overall self-awareness. So with that being said, we kind of got an idea of who Waltz is, their structure, and the issue that we are having out of those 8 characteristics for the Fortune 500. So we need to make changes. And so here we are. We're at the Notter's 8-step change model. And what this is it has 8 different things that are imperatives for change. There's create urgencies, there's a form of powerful coalition, create a vision for change, communicate the vision, remove the obstacles, create short term wins, build on change, and anchor change. I know that sounds like a lot, but we could do it. And so we put a lot of emphasis. We can take that and actually apply it. And by we apply it, there's so many different things. I did put a few in here. We can spark motivation with among the employees, build your team that is various in different personalities and various in skill sets, and just being a great balance, creating a strategy and sticking to it. While you're doing your strategy, also communicate with the employees because they're obviously getting excited with change, addressing obstacles, also long-term improvement. So knowing that this is going to take a while and sticking with it the whole entire time. The challenges that can arise from these changes, especially using the Notter's the change model, is to manage the challenges. So the challenges that would arise is normal, which would be employee uncertainty and fear because of the change. They could resist the change. There could be lack of communication that could cause a challenge. There's also setbacks and poor planning. So those are challenges, and that's normal, and we're going to combine, but the best that we can do is make sure we have communication, keep the employees informed. We could do that by utilizing surveys. We can reassure them along the way so we can cover any anxiety. And if there's surveys where they're expressing some concerns, let's go ahead and reassure them and let's inform them and make sure that we also empathize with them, that we know this is going to be a lot of change, but we need to inspire them and motivate them and tell them how this change is going to really affect everything. And overall, just fully commit that to these changes. So we're not going to start and give up. We know it's going to take a lot of work, but with a balance between leaders and team members and staff, we can make it work. So the strategies that I developed that I think would be a super amazing asset for Waltz is, so the strategies are, first, I want to emphasize on education and growth. I want to create leadership programs so we can go ahead and support them and guide them and retain employees and help them grow. I also want to make sure we have recognition programs that we can recognize accomplishments and be excited. People want to be good at work for the most part, and they want to do good and they want to meet goals and they want to be recognized. Obviously, everyone wants to be recognized in their own way, but recognition is great, and rewards. The other second out of the 3 that I find most important for improving on Walt's poor management is communication. We need more feedback, and we could do that by using surveys. We want to hear from the team members, and we want to be the best company we can be, and we can do that by listening, also being transparent and direct, and encouraging collaboration, not only collaboration between team members and leaders, but team members among team members. I think that would be a great number two step. And the third great step is improved training. As we see, there are so many issues that can come from under training. We could do this by social learning, mentorship programs, and also programs to help supervisors communicate with team members or help look at supervisors and make sure they understand the training and providing them the sources and resources and time to be able to help them build their team. And I feel like Waltz right now is failing on that. So I overall think that that will be a great idea. So this is overall my exciting presentation on Waltz TV. Every company is going to have their downfalls. Unfortunately, ours is in the management, people management, and really working with them, developing to leaders. Also with the conscious culture, there is some lack on emphasizing and seeing the importance of managing culture instead of just letting it be and letting it grow into however they see, because that could cause a negative. We want to really positive where people want to be here. And by using Cotter's change model, that would also be really helpful in those 8 steps. And that we can also learn how to manage the challenges on the way and overall achieve a strategy to be able to help with people management, help with under training, and help with overall creating a culture and also empowering people to be able to want to grow, want to learn, and want to be proud of the job that they're at. So thank you for your time.